Guys, I think we can all agree upon the fact that we use Instagram and we consume a lot of content and a lot of content on from different people who has different views on the world, who has different views on a lot of concept, and freelancing happens to one among it. And we see people posting as if they have closed $1,000 in the month first, and by the time they have completed 1 year in freelancing, they have been doing 10K a month. Now I will make a separate video on how to catch the people or how to spot the people who are just trying to sell you the crap, and spot people who are an actual freelancer, because we have been there, done that. We will be the right person to guide you. In fact, there is a special, I would say, part of a module where you'll understand whom to ideally follow up mentally. I mean, of course, you need a competition. We are Homo sapiens. We live in a competitive world, and we need to look up to our competition, and we try to, outbeat them, outwork them. And for that, having the people better than you is necessary. But a lot of people will post the content that makes no sense, and nobody can close 10K a month in their month 6, or nobody can close, maybe they can close, but not very likely to close more than $3,000 in their first month. But I will be here trying to talk about a brutal truth, because I have been there, done that. And the most difficult part, let me tell you, the most difficult part usually happens when you're about to cross an year in freelancing by having a lot of clients, is you will get stuck somewhere, and it will become very much stable. I mean, it will become very much stagnant, and your journey doesn't move at all. Now if you're working a 9 to 5, a lot of people are against 9 to 5. I'm not going to exactly use the word against. I do not believe in certain ideals, but apart from that, I have been a wonderful person. I have been very excellent employee, and I have contributed a lot to the company, and I frankly love the companies I've worked in. I'm not a complainer, except few things. But yeah, back to the original concept. Why will you be stuck when you are freelancing, and when you reach the stage where you have some clients? You're not a beginner, but you're not an expert as well. And I have very clearly broken down into three steps or three reasons why this happens. So why will you be stuck? Because I'm a freelancer, I was stuck as well. My friend is a freelancer. All the partners of Stone Circle are freelancers, and I do know everybody agrees upon this fact. And I'll give you only three reasons why you will be stuck when you are freelancing. So what's gonna happen is there are two types of people. So who takes the order and who just cares about the results. So now let's take an example. If you go ahead and tell that I'll do the post. What do you want me to do? Let's say you're a social media manager and you go to the business owner who has paid to you, and you tell them, I'll make a post as discussed, but can you tell me what posts you want me to make? That is taking order. The client gives order to you. Now I'll tell you what is the biggest problem of it. The biggest problem is it is replaceable. He can find anybody who can work cheaper. There are always people cheaper than you, and they will replace you, and it's very much replaceable. Now how do you create a certain level of dependency upon the business owner or the client, so that they keep on paying you again and again and again and again and again, and they see the worth that you're trying to bring into the business? And those are always the result owner. Now, as a result owner, in our example that we have taken, you will go ahead and tell the owner, I will post the content, I will generate whatever that is required to be for the brand. You don't have to worry about it. So now you are in I will solve this state. That is high value, because you work, you bring the value. You don't ask them, you don't, take order. You just do what is the end result that the client expects to be. And how do you know where the end agenda or the result that the client wants you to take is? When you talk with them, of course you'll know what is their agenda, what have they been aiming to achieve, and how you can help them is what you think and what you get the results. So now I want you guys to be somebody who takes the ownership. I will call this as the ownership. Now if you don't own the results, you don't earn more. So be a person. So who acts as a partner in the business. You must be as close to the client as a partner and not the commodity. Now, this is the first mistake that a lot of people do. Initially, you will be the commodity, but you have to soon move to the level of being a partner, because you'll understand the market, you'll understand the client, you'll understand what the client is trying to deliver through the product or the service. And you have to shift to the result owner. The second thing, I will be calling it as doom loop. Because what freelancers do is they get into a, let's say, a skill, let's say video editing, and after some time they'll move into copywriting, after some time they'll move into designing AI tools. There will be a lot of things that they'll switch, and they will think that it is a progress. As a freelancer you must always learn, but they are stagnating their own growth. Why? Because depth creates the leverage, and the leverage creates the wealth. So you need to have a right skill set that you can scale across, and you need to have a very in-depth idea of it. If you're somebody who's video editor and you don't know copywriting, you don't have to learn it. You need to understand the basics of it. Of course, it's always better, but that doesn't mean that you provide service for both video editing and copywriting. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of people disagree. Even I did disagreed at first. To some level of degree, when I disagreed, I thought, why not everything? Why can't I do everything? I'm talented enough. I'll do everything. You can. You can be as good as copywriter as a video editor. But to the market, you can't portray yourself, because you will be in both the boats, and the client gets confused, and there are a lot of metrics involved. So don't get into something called doom loop. Stick on to one, find clients in one, build a testimonials, build your profile in one skill, and then hire people for others once you create a personal brand. This is all possible when you create a personal brand. So stop switching and start scaling. The last and the most important mistake that is going to cost you a lot that you will be doing is trying to match the client's expectations on the budget. Because the client, no matter how much money he has, he will be agreeing to go lesser and lesser and lesser. So if you go ahead and tell, I can reduce it, let's try to work it around, you lose your value. You talk cheap, you get clients, you get bad clients, you get cheap clients, and you get people who are very unserious about what they want to do. So you need to understand that you're giving your time, and you have to tell this is what the investment is and why it has been given. Give the value for it. Tell why are you the right fit. Tell what you can do for their brand. Tell how you can mix your uh, you know uh, perspective on their vision and how you can make it possible, and tell them the investment is XYZ, whatever that is. But if you try to bargain, like bargain in the fish market, you will lose your value. Bargain is fine, but I have an excellent solution for the bargain, which I will be posting in the next video. What's gonna happen and what is the solution if people try to bargain with you? If they tell, no, I don't want to take this service for 5,000, I'm okay only for 2,000, that is my budget. I would like to go with you, but 2,000 is my budget. So what you do in that scenario is something that, I'll be going ahead and making a video about it. And I'll also make a video on how to spot people who are content creators and not freelancers. And one tip let me give you now is, when you go ahead and look at their profile, right? So when you go ahead and look at their profile, so you will be not uh, seeing any type of, you'll be not seeing any type of services they're providing. All they give is some ebooks. All they tell is, my agency closed XYZ, I have closed this, I have closed that, but there is no clear representation on what their agency do. And that is a very weak signal, and that means they're not really a freelancer, they're content creators. So I'll make those videos, but these are the key metrics that you have to take ownership, focus on one skill, and not reducing the price and sticking on to the price. You need to move the needle and fix the three.